background. This is our library room, and I will do my videos in here with a new setup of cameras and background. Since this is a new year, I thought a new setup in videos would be convenient and more festive. And my first video in my new room will be January TBR. My January TBR consists of three main categories. The first category of books are the books that I could not finish in the month of December. The first book on my TBR will be The Lost Boys by Christina Henry. As I mentioned before, I put this in my December TBR, but unfortunately I couldn't finish it. I've just started the book. This was the 4-month read of Rambling Readers Book Club, hosted by 4 lovely booktubers, which I will link all of their channels down below. And since I will be able to finish this book in the first days of January, I think I will not be very late in the discussion part, because the discussion video has not been announced yet as I'm filming this video. The Lost Boys is a retelling of Peter Pan from the perspective of Captain Hook. I have read Peter Pan in November and sort of liked it, not very much, but it was okay. But I have high hopes for this book because it has been praised so much by Linda from World of Books. And actually Hook was the most interesting character in the original Peter Pan book as well, for me. So The Lost Boy is the first book that I plan to read in January. In the second category, I have 3 books that are part of online book clubs and buddy reads. I will buddy read The Help by Kathryn Stockett with Vanessa from VEEREADS. She has been a good friend of mine since I started my booktube channel. And when she was doing a recommendation video about historical fiction books, she mentioned The Help. I said I wanted to read this book, and she suggested a buddy read because she also wanted to reread The Help. So it became a perfect fit for us, and I'm really excited for this buddy read because the buddy reading experience has been very joyful for me, and I'm sure it will be a delight to read this book with Vanessa, who loved the book so much. The second book in this category is Frome by Edith Wharton. It's a classic book, and we will read this book as a part of Back of Bookshelf Book Club in Instagram. It's a short classic, and since I rediscovered my love for classics in 2019, and starting 2020 with a classic will be a joy for me, and I really like the discussions in our Instagram book club as well. The third book in this category is Snowflower and the Secret Fan by Lisa C. It's a historical fiction book, and I wanted to read this book for at least 2 years. And Krista from BooksAndJams announced that the January pick for her Goodreads read-along group will be Snowflower and the Secret Fan. I immediately wanted to join in since this was the opportunity that I was waiting for. I've heard that it's an emotional read, and I am almost 100% sure that I will cry in this book. But sometimes a good cry is necessary in a good book. The books in my last category are the books related to my 2020 reading goal. For the first book that I'm going to mention, I'm going to read just part of that book. This tome, as I mentioned before, Sherlock Holmes, all of the stories in Turkish in just one book. I will read this book in 6 months and then read the remaining novels in second half of 2020. As for the page count, I've decided to read the first 10 stories so that I will be able to have an even reading pace for this tone. But of course I will not be able to read this when commuting, so this will be my home read for the whole 6 months, I think. I'm really excited for this book because Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle has been one of the frontiers of detective fiction, and I've only read one novel so far, which is shocking considering that my favorite mystery subgenre is detective subgenre. So I wanted to fix this in 2020. The other books regarding 2020 goals are the books that belong to Stacking the Series challenge. I did a separate video about this Stacking the Series challenge and I will link it down below. For January I will start the series that has a stack of 6 books and the series that has a stack of 5 books. For the series that has a stack of 6 books, I will read The Boleyn Inheritance by Philippa Gregory. It is the 10th book in Plantagenet and Tudor novels series. I have read around 9 of them in the previous, I think, 3 years, and I want to finish this series in 2020, as I mentioned in that video. The series has been very joyful for me to read. The books are a bit long, but since I really do like Philippa Gregory's writing style, which is actually a bit hard to get in, but I like her writing style. I want to start the hardest series in January so that I would get over it in 6 months. Since I will read the books once a month for this series without skipping a month, and that is also one of my reading resolutions in 2020. And the last 2 books on my TBR are the short novellas belonging to His Dark Materials series, which is the series that has 5 books in the stack, including the novellas. So I wanted to start the novellas in January so that I would read the second main book in February. The 2 prequel novellas belonging to His Dark Materials series are Once Upon a Time in North and The Collectors. They follow 2 different characters. One of them is actually a character that I was very much interested in. The character in The Collectors, although she is the antagonist in the book, I think she's a very interesting character and I really want to know what happened to her. And the character in the Once Upon a Time on North is also a very eccentric character, and I think it will be fun to read their background stories before the first book, The Northern Lights, or The Golden Campus, like the title of the edition that I have read in my ebook reader. So those are the books that I plan to read in January 2020, the first month of the year. And I'm really excited for 2020, since this year will hopefully be the year that I will finish most of my series that I've started, and also continue on with other series. So please comment down below. Are you also excited for your January books? Are you starting the year with a medium-sized TBR like I do? Or are you taking it a bit more relaxed in January? Or are you starting the year with ambitious TBR? I really want to know what you're reading and how will you start the year. And also, as usual, please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye! As for Turkish word of the day, since Snowflower and The Secret Fan has been on my TBR for the longest time, I will choose fan for Turkish word of the day. Fan means yelpaze in Turkish, and yelpaze is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.